While announcing new mask guidelines, President Biden said COVID-19 vaccines are helping America get back to more normal living and encourage Americans to get the shot. But with more than half of American adults having received at least one dose, the challenge has now shifted from one of supply to demand as daily vaccinations decline now nationwide.
And here with the latest in his state, Missouri Governor Mike Parson. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you today. So, look, I guess it's supposed to be a good problem to have, right? We have more vaccine in some places than people who actually want it or need it, but actually that's maybe not such a good thing. Are you all to a point in Missouri yet that you're starting to turn away vaccine because the demand isn't there?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think we were so appreciative just to get the vaccine in the first place and to be able to increase those amounts because the demand was so strong. But the reality of it is just because of the program we put in place that we've had in place since October, and we've executed that here in our state. Actually, we were ahead of schedule administering the vaccine once we got the allotments in. But the reality of it is it has slowed down, and the demand is not what it once was, 30 days ago. But I think it's also important to realize, it seems like we've been dealing with this for a long, long time, but all these stages are very short. We only had a vaccine out for, 2 or 3 months now, and we continue to make progress on it. But right now in the state of Missouri, if you want a vaccine, you're going to be able to get a vaccine somewhere in the state of Missouri.
Also, I know one of your big priorities, other than vaccinating the people of Missouri, is your infrastructure. I know you've already been able to take on your Focus on Bridges program. You repaired or replaced over 100 bridges in your state. What do you make of President Biden's infrastructure bill? Do you think it has the bipartisan support it needs?
Yeah, just what I hear from some of my delegation in Missouri and what I'm seeing, I don't think it does. And the trouble with any of the federal bills, the big bills like that, it's all the other things that are put in it. If it was strictly an infrastructure bill that really just dealt with the roads, the highways, the bridges, the airports, broadband, and all the really things that are important is what we put as priorities in this state. People I do believe would support that, but it's all the other things they put in that has nothing to do with infrastructure. I think that's where the problem lies, and I think we all know that, just continuing what they do in Washington, D.C.
Governor, I want to ask you as well, you're a law enforcement guy in your background. We had the new mayor of St. Louis on the show a few days ago. You met with her not too long ago, Mayor Tashara Jones. One thing she talked to us about was police reform. So I want to ask you, what does police reform look like to you, if you think it's necessary? And also, what's going on in D.C. with the George Floyd Justice Act that's been talked about up there, qualified immunity? I want to get your take on what you think about the idea of qualified immunity.
When you hear the extreme side say, okay, we don't want police departments, or we want to defund the police, quote, defund the police, whatever that means, the problem with that is we're a law and order country and a community. And when you see these things happening, we see it all over our country, how disruptive that is and what the crime rates are doing in some of these major cities when you start doing those things. So I think as leaders, it's important what you say, but I also think don't be afraid to change policy if it's not the best policy out there. 99% of the time or more, people get it right every day out there. And if there's bad actors in law enforcement, you need to get them out. And when you look at the George Floyd situation, justice was served.
And again, quickly, you okay with qualified immunity being taken away for police officers?
Well, look, I don't know what's going to come out in Washington, D.C. All I know, there's a system in place right now to deal with those very situations. I don't know that you need to create a new law every day to deal with situations that's already in the law book. So to me, when somebody does something wrong, I think they should be held accountable to that, no matter who you are. And if you're doing it right, people should stand up and says, hey, they're doing it right day in and day out. All right, I don't know that we need to make it complicated.
All right, Missouri Governor Mike Parson, sir, I think by count, you're somewhere around our 30th governor that we've had on the show. We've been chasing you for a while, so it's good to have you on the show, my man. Hope to see you back, all right?
All right, thanks for having me on.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.